Hello and welcome to the CNY Business Connection. I'm Jason Weinstein. Coming up on this week's show, more do's and don'ts of internet marketing, how to maximize your digital presence, plus the latest in Business Connection classifieds, a look at some local job listings, but we'll begin with the latest in business news from around the area.
Lockheed Martin has won a $791 million contract from the Air Force to provide information technology services on a combat support system. Some of the work for the project will take place at the company's Owego site, which employs 2,900 people. Lockheed has been the primary contractor for this support system since 1996. It includes a web portal that allows Air Force users to access mission applications, information, and collaboration tools. The system provides access to everything from the status of parts and supplies to information on benefits. The system has more than 800,000 registered users. The latest contract is for 3 years plus 4 one-year options. The state's unemployment rate was 8% in August, unchanged from July and down from 8.4% a year ago. The state lost jobs due in part to an August strike by 17,000 Verizon workers. Some bright spots in the jobs report were gains in education and health services, which added 42,100 jobs over the past 12 months. The Syracuse region recorded a strong August, adding 3,100 non-farm jobs and 700 private sector jobs. The Binghamton area added 1,000 non-farm jobs and 500 private sector jobs. Floods like the one that has ravaged the southern tier and other disasters often set the stage for con artists and price gouging. The state attorney general's office says it's ready to process complaints from anyone who's been victimized. Additional field offices and hours are being set up in flooded areas. For more information, call the AG's office at 1-800-771-7755. The U.S. Postal Service plans to study the Binghamton Mail Processing Center with an eye towards consolidating its processing operations into the Syracuse Center. The Postal Service is looking at reducing the size of its network nationwide. If the study reveals an opportunity to consolidate, the Postal Service will hold a public meeting to explain the changes and solicit feedback.
Well, we thought we'd bring out the birds here and put a face on some of the things that you read about in the newspaper and hear on TV.
Valenti and his 2 birds, Lucy and Shooter, were among about 40 people standing along the sidewalks protesting against last week's incident at Petco.
They had the information they needed to evacuate. If they can evacuate their employees, then they should have evacuated the animals.
It doesn't take an animal activist to see that a company that leaves 200 animals to die in dark, cold waters needs to be held accountable and shouldn't be supported with any purchases going forward.
Protesters have heard responses from the road in support of why they're here, but they've also heard something else.
And we have people, why aren't you?
Lost in the screams, this man started to yell, "Put some work boots on and help flood victims."
I don't think that they've realized that we are trying to do that. We are having a donation run, not only for the animal shelters in the area, but also for the Red Cross, so that we can contribute something to the flood victims.
Other protesters here have claimed they have done their part.
You know, I've donated things and I've helped clean people's houses out. I've slept strangers at my house. I've helped foster animals, so whatever I can do to help, I'm doing.
Protesters devoted some of their time today from 1 to 5 to be the voice for the lost animals. But afterwards, it's back to work for some.
So as soon as we get done doing this, we're back to our houses and cleaning up their homes.
And according to Quigley, the protest is more than just receiving supplies, but make sure Petco no longer feels at home in Johnson City.
I think the major thing here, besides the donation run, is that we really would like Petco to leave.
And although it seems Petco may no longer be welcomed in the area, there is no word yet on whether or not the store plans to stay.
Time now for the latest in Business Connection classified, some local job postings from around the area.
In collaboration with the Rural Health Network of South Central New York, AVRE will be interviewing candidates for a low vision clinic access specialist. This position will connect persons with sustained vision loss to the Low Vision Center at AVRE and work with area eye care practices to integrate low vision services into standard eye care treatment for such persons. They will also build bridges with the eye care community, facilitate referrals, and create patient awareness and demand through educating collateral professionals and eye care office staff, direct-to-consumer presentations, and related activities. For more information and to apply online, visit the RHSC website and view AmeriCorps positions. The Association for Visual Rehabilitation and Employment is looking for a manager of new business opportunities. This person would be responsible for identifying new AVRE products and services which have the potential to grow employment opportunities for people who are blind or visually impaired. Products and/or services identified must enhance both the mission and profitability of AVRE. The position has a focus on enhancing federal and state government business, but commercial opportunity development is also expected. Some business travel will be necessary to perform the essential functions of the position. Please send your resume to Kevin Berger's attention at AVRE, 174 Court Street, Binghamton, New York, 13901. You can fax your resume to Kevin at 607-771-8045 or email kberger@avreus.org. As business grows, AVRE continues to create good jobs for legally blind individuals in various manufacturing, assembly, and packaging departments. These positions range from entry-level assembly and manufacturing to machine operators. AVRE offers competitive wages and benefits. Interested legally blind individuals should contact Kevin Berger, Accounting and Human Resources Manager, at 607-724-2428 or email him at avreinfo@avreus.org. Fox 40 and My 8 Binghamton television stations are looking for an experienced salesperson who is creative and goal-oriented. The salesperson will call on an existing base of accounts as well as being expected to develop new business. The ideal candidate will have the ability to generate new leads, good presentation skills, ability to juggle multiple projects, and a sense of urgency. Sales experience is desired. A valid driver's license is required. You can send your resume to the attention of Wayne Gordon, 4600 Vestal Parkway East, Vestal, New York, 13850.
For more of those postings, you can go on bizconnecttv.com/jobs or follow us on Twitter at bizconnecttv. We'll take a break, but when we come back, the do's and don'ts of internet marketing, more tips on how to maximize your digital presence, plus the latest bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it, thanks to our friends at Prendismo.com.
I'm Norm Poltenson. I've published the Central New York Business Journal for 25 years. Our success is based on the fact that we know only one audience, owners and managers of businesses in Central New York. We publish stories for them, we don't offer sound bites, and we always source our information. Maybe technology's changed since I started publishing 25 years ago, but not our mission. You can always rely on the Central New York Business Journal providing your business news.
Make your company's job opportunities stand out and get seen. The Binghamton Business Connection and BizConnectTV.com have created the area's first video job posting service. Don't hope a few words of text will get you the local candidates you want. Get your opportunities seen on the Binghamton Business Connection TV show and BizConnectTV.com/jobs. For an inexpensive multimedia and visual way to showcase your job openings, call 239-0199, email bizconnecttv@gmail.com, and watch the Binghamton Business Connection on My 8.
Welcome back. Maximizing your digital presence is becoming more and more of a priority for businesses and individuals. With some tips on the do's and don'ts of internet marketing, here is Lynn Harrison from Sword Saint Studios.
Long-tail keywords are basically adding more information to your search. When people search for, say, a dentist, typically they don't just type in the word dentist in the search engine. It may be dentist in Binghamton, New York, or pulling teeth. The keywords you set up on your site should be just as specific. And if you have specific services that you offer, do combinations of those words that include the services. Now, Google provides a free tool And if you search for Google keyword tool, I had one client that had optimized all the keywords for adult day program. It was getting on the average of 700 searches a month nationwide. But adult day care was getting 40,000 searches. You were able to change their keywords and get greater visibility. A lot of people get caught up in touting the features of their product or service. This is what I do. The focus should be more on what is the benefit for the customer. What do they get? You need to remember the fundamentals of marketing. One thing is developing a sales funnel. You may get a lot of people that are taking an inexpensive product or offer, and some subset of those may be good customers for a more expensive product. And you can basically help them along the line. You can get caught up in the trap of being too intellectual, too facts and figures. And people really don't tend to buy based on facts and figures. It's the emotions, the wants. This is going to make me more attractive, or this is going to improve my life in some way. And there's an emotional tie-in that you should find with your customers. Well, one of the advantages with the website is you can have very mixed media. You can have all the text and tell stories, but you can also have audio and video on your website. And you should really leverage the full media. The biggest one is if you don't have a website presence at all. And it is so inexpensive to establish that website presence these days. Small businesses may think, I'm too small, I can't go there. But for $120 a year, you can afford to have a website. And you should have your emails, tied in to your company domain. I've run into so many businesses that have their email at, a Roadrunner email address, AOL, Yahoo. And that has a connotation of, you're not a professional. Lynn at SwordSaintStudios.com, that has a professional image. If it was Lynn at STNY.RR.com, Roadrunner, it's a whole different image that you're putting out there. And there's a lot of location-based advertising happening now where your smartphone has GPS, it knows where you are, and there's applications coming out that you're walking down the street and it'll ping up and say, do you know there's a good restaurant around the corner? And that's where things are moving.
Our thanks to Lynn for that. And time now for a bit of business wisdom from someone who has lived it, thanks to our friends at Prendismo.com, partnering with entrepreneurs for success.
Selling is not for everyone. I can sell, I have sold, I have chosen not to sell. It is not for me for a lifetime career. There are people who selling is truly for. Now, as you start a company, you begin developing a company, you may have to sell, but you need to understand that it is an incredibly demanding occupation, aspect of the job. So you may have to sell. That may be part of it, but if it's not for you, recognize that, and at some point in time, plan to bring someone in to offset that piece of the business if it's not for you. It can be a necessary evil, but there are lots of necessary evils in every business. You're a small business person. When the bathroom's backed up, you probably don't like that, but you're doing that too. All are different things that must be taken care of. And then basically, with selling, it has one fundamental principle which differs from marketing. I think selling is a subset of marketing. The objective of selling is to get the sale, to get the order. That is the reason. Marketing has other objectives, other purposes, but when you're selling, you want the order, you want the buy.
And that does it for this episode of the CNY Business Connection. Thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Jason Weinstein. Have a good one. Make your company's job opportunities stand out and get seen. The Binghamton Business Connection and BizConnectTV.com have created the area's first video job posting service. Don't hope a few words of text will get you the local candidates you want. Get your opportunities seen on the Binghamton Business Connection TV show and BizConnectTV.com/jobs. For an inexpensive multimedia and visual way to showcase your job openings, call 239-0199, email bizconnecttv@gmail.com, and watch the Binghamton Business Connection on My8.